Hello, friends. You may or may not notice a little dog with a cone on here behind me that's comfortable sleeping. That's Sheldon. Just a little update on him. He just had a knee replacement surgery because he's almost a 2-year-old dog. And that's the kind of crazy dog lady that I am. So he tore his ACL and they did all sorts of reconstructive stuff and put in like little prosthetics and everything. So he should be doing fairly well. And most of it was caused by hip dysplasia that was genetic. So hopefully he will start to feel better. He'll always have problems with his hips, but will hopefully sort of delay that and make it a little bit more comfortable on him. So today I finished round 5 of chemo. A few weeks ago, this would have been the next to the last one. But if you saw my last video, you realized that things took a turn, not necessarily for the worse, but they just took a turn. So now I'm doing 3 chemicals instead of the 2, and the 2 that they had me on, I was at about like 82%, and so they ramped those up to 100% each, and now I'm on Avastin, which I think I explained to you all that basically cuts off the blood flow to, like in the blood vessels, to like cancer cells and tumors. So we're going to see how that goes. The doctor couldn't tell me today whether or not my CA-125 levels are the tumor markers that are present that show whether, a tumor is growing or declining. I want my numbers on the downhill slope. And so the reason I got put on the 3 medicines now, the 3 chemicals, is because for the first 2 rounds of chemo, my CA-125 numbers skyrocketed, which that's not what it's supposed to do. We're not scientists here, but so he thinks that we may have just caught it at a time when it was getting ready to accelerate anyway. So then after the 3rd, I think he said the 3rd, it started to decline. And so now we're trying to figure out after the 4th one if the decline had continued. If so, we're right on track. If not, we may have to play a wait and see after this 2nd round with Avastin. And if that's not working, we may have to try the next step. So, I am hopeful. Because like I've told many of you all, I'm too stupid and stubborn not to be hopeful. And he told me to have hope, so I am. Things change a lot. Whenever I was 20, I was absolutely mortified and scared. And I realized that even though at 20 I was supposed to be an adult, I was still a child in many ways. I've learned a lot since then. I've had a lot of life since then. So I'm kind of at peace. I want to live a long life, and I want to be the old lady who is like Boo Radley to the neighborhood kids and all that good stuff. And so I plan on living a long time. So what I found out today is that many of you all have asked me, what stage is your cancer? And I was like, I don't know. Nobody's told me. And there's a reason they have not told me. They were afraid to tell me. So 20 years ago, I had stage 4 ovarian cancer. And the reason I had that was, simply put, for 2 reasons. One, because the cancer had moved from my ovaries to other organs. So that automatically puts it in stage 4. But also, too, my prognosis then was not good. It was like a 10 to 15% survival rate if I was lucky with chemo, with surgery, all that kind of stuff. So the nurse, I said, hey, question. People have been asking me, what stage is my cancer? Is it even staged? I don't know. I said I would like to just provide answers when people ask them. And so she was like, well, and there was a lot of humming and hawing going on. And I said, it's okay. You can tell me. She said, well, I don't want you to put too much stock in all of this. And I'll tell you why. She said, it's stage 4. I said, okay, I've had that before. I get that. She said, well, the reason mine is stage 4 is simply because it has moved to another organ, i.e., my lung. But it's not about the prognosis at this point. My doctor is still hopeful that my prognosis is good. So she said, don't put too much stock in the whole stage 4 thing. So there you have it. That's what we know. New glasses today. The fortunate part is, a lot of times when you take chemo, your vision changes. Mine has luckily only gotten a little bit worse, so I didn't have to change that much. So hopefully, whenever I finish chemo and am better, I won't have to change glasses back, luckily. But she also told me that due to my age, I'm about, well, also just probably the nature of my job, I'm about a year or 2 away from having to get bifocals for reading. That means I'm old. So, when y'all see me doing this number a lot, you'll know that it happened. So that's about it for today. Doodle is down here asleep. See the little black dot on her butt? That's her go button. So that's about it. I have about, it's usually about 5 or 6, and at 5 or 6 tomorrow is when I will hit the wall and I will be absolutely exhausted. So I figured I would go ahead and chat with you all now and then do some cleaning in the morning, and get all that good stuff done, before I get really, really tired, because I have to go to work on Monday. So there's no getting out of it. So I got to get my rest in on Sunday. So, well, thank you for all of your support. Let me know what other questions you all have. You can tweet me questions at Dharma35. So it's DHARMAH 35, or you can leave your questions in the comments. And so I'm free and happy to answer any questions that I can. And if I don't know the answers, I will find them out for you. So stay positive and be good to each other.